Good morning, and welcome to this morning's Dharma school service. Today is our major spring Ohigan service. And so you can see in our onaijin, the uchishiki has been put out, and we're wearing our shike, so our special robes for today's Ohigan service. We begin with sutra chanting Sambujo, followed by the reading of Junirai. So if you please join us.
Sure.
If you would please join now in the reading of Golden Chain. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Again, good morning and welcome to this morning's service. Today is our spring Ohigan service. As you may remember, I think I've talked about this a couple of times now, but Ohigan is a practice that originated in Japan. So other Buddhist countries don't observe Ohigan, or other schools of Buddhism that originated in other parts of the world don't observe Ohigan. It's only in Japan that we observe this. And so this practice, or this tradition of observing Ohigan during the spring and autumn equinox was started by Emperor Shomu of Japan. And at that time, Emperor Shomu was, I guess you could say he was a devout Buddhist. But it's kind of strange because Emperor Shomu is, of course, Emperor of Japan, so he's a descendant of the Shinto tradition, so descendant of perceived as a deity within Shintoism. And that tradition, the emperor, or I shouldn't say the tradition, although that lineage of the Emperor of Japan as a descendant within Shinto, the Shinto deities, continued until the end of the Second World War. But even now today, that's kind of come back again, where the emperor is thought of as, and I don't know if he really went away, but certainly held as in great esteem. But Emperor Shomu, one of the things that he did, among the many things that he did, was kind of really expanded Buddhism in Japan, establishing these provincial temples with places that nuns could practice Buddhism as well. So developing or building these temples and nunneries throughout Japan. And he also built the great Todaiji Buddha, Vairochana, in Nara. And so he did a lot to cultivate or to establish Buddhism in Japan. And one of the things that he did was to establish this practice of Ohigan when twice a year, if possible, and so the monks and the priests and even the lay people were encouraged to take some time to think about how we might leave this world of samsara and to go to the other shore. And the other shore is the world of enlightenment, or for us, the Pure Land. And at this time, priests and monks and lay people as well would think about practices, and the paramita was a part of that. And so we have within our tradition of within Jodo Shinshu, 6 paramita are often talked about, and there are other kind of versions of the paramita, the perfections that one should try to cultivate in your life. But in our Jodo Shinshu, we have 6 paramita. And so the six paramita in the Dharma School Service book, and is sila or dana, dana, which is generosity, to be generous, right? To give when you can, to share when you can. Sila, discipline, to follow the teachings of the Buddha. Shanti, patience, I shall be patient and understanding. Virya, endeavor, I shall do my best in all things. Jhana, meditation, I shall reflect on the teachings of the Buddha. And prajna, wisdom, I shall seek the light of wisdom. These are important in our everyday lives, to do these kinds of, or to have these kinds of behavior in our lives. We should be generous, we should be thoughtful, we should be patient in what we do, and to have some discipline in our behavior, so that we're not going all over the place, that we are able to be in our practices, in our the things that we do it in a way that follows the teachings of the Buddha. And we should do that to the best of our ability, with our virya endeavor. Meditation is to kind of reflect upon, to think about the teachings of the Buddha. And wisdom, of course, one of the key or central ideas, practices in Buddhism. Wisdom and compassion. These two things make up the center of the teachings of the Buddha. They are the central components of enlightenment, wisdom and compassion. So these are, in our Jodo Shinshu, we have these kind of as guidelines for our everyday life. And these are practices, but there are practices of perfection, right? We have to practice this to, we can get it perfect in our everyday activities. But we know, of course, in Jodo Shinshu, that that's not possible. We should try. We don't do things because we're not capable. We try to do things the best of our ability, and sometimes we will fail. We will not meet our own expectations, and we'll fall short of these six perfections. I think that's important for us to understand in Jodo Shinshu, because when we recognize our own imperfections, our inability to follow the six paramita or the Eightfold Path, that when we recognize our commitment to do these things, but our inability to perfect these activities, we may begin to realize, as Shinran did on Hiesan, that as hard as I may try, I am not as consistent and thoroughgoing as I may want to be. And we may begin to seek out, as Shinran did, another way of understanding our relationship to the world around us. And of course, what he understood or discovered through his relationship with Honen was the vow of Amida Buddha. And continued to deepen his understanding of that. That the vow of Amida Buddha is made for just such a person who is inconsistent, unable to perfect the perfections, unable to follow the Eightfold Path. That for such a person, the vow of Amida Buddha affirms and assures us as we are, just as we are. of the resolution of the difficulties that we cause and experience, that we too are assured of enlightenment. I kind of hesitate to use the word enlightenment because sometimes we get stuck on that word, and what does it mean, and how is it supposed to be, and we have so many questions about what enlightenment might be like. But it's to be free of those difficulties that we cause and experience. As we participate in this time of Ohigan, we remember the six paramita, and also the Eightfold Path, right? The Eightfold Path, the same thing. It leads us to exit the world of samsara, to go to the other shore, where we realize that we are already there. That in this world of samsara, we are already at the other shore. With gratitude and appreciation in Jodo Shinshu, we simply say Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. That we too, that I too, am able to reach the other shore, and that I am able to do that because of Amida Buddha, a great compassion and wisdom of Amida Buddha that moves me to the other shore. Okay, so Ohigan, time to kind of think about, reflect on these practices that are prescribed, and kind of think about how we are able to do this, and that we should really try. This is good practice for us to try, so we might, improve. But when we reach a point that we know we realize we cannot go any further, that the vow of Amida Buddha is there, assuring us as we are of the eventual experience of enlightenment. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us for this morning's Dharma School service, Ohigan service. Thank you very much for your kind attention. We'll conclude with Gatha in Lumbini's garden. Thank you, everybody. See you next time.
Softly blew the breezes on the glorious morn. In Lumbini's garden, where the Lord was born. From the earth sprang flowers, virgin warblers sang, while through earth and heaven strains of music rang. Gods and men and angels, all for worship came. Glory to Lord Buddha, glory to his name.
Thank you, everyone. See you next week. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning. Welcome to this morning's Ohigan, Spring Ohigan service. We observe Ohigan both in the spring and in the fall. These are timed with the spring and fall autumnal equinox. So when the days and the nights are fairly even, it's mild, the weather is kind of nice. We're coming out of a cold winter into the beautiful spring, and in the fall we're changing over from the heat of summer into the cool autumn. So it's a time of change. It's a time in which we are able to look around, take some time to appreciate the changes that are going on around us. We'll begin today's service with Sambujo and the reading of Sanbutsuge. So if you'll please join us in Sambujo and Sanbutsuge.
Namanda, 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 Namanda. Okay, good morning, everyone. Okay, before moving on my Dharma talk, so we'd like to read the three treasures. So will you please show me in Kansho? Let me see. Okay, thank you. Okay. How is it to be born into human life? Now we're living it. Difficult is it to hear the teaching of the first one? Now we hear it. If you do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absolve ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken ourselves the spring will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depth of doctrine and gaze at wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha, and be free from all hindrances, become units of true accord in a life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through the myriad ages of kalpas, how is it to hear in such an excellent and profound and wonderful doctrine? Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Okay, thank you. So again, good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well. So I'd like to begin my talk by reading the quotation of Zendo, or Shandao's hymn, which is collected in our founder Shinran Shonin's main writing, Gyogyo Shinsho, or the true teaching, practice, and realization. Would you please show me in Kansho? Let us return. Do not abide in other lands. Following the Buddha's guidance, let us return to our original home. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Okay, thank you very much. So today is a special day for us. For me, it's another special day for me. It's my younger sister's birthday. So yeah, but her birthday was yesterday in her like a Japan time. But it's I guess officially her birthday was yesterday in Japan. But yeah, still we can celebrate her birthday. I sent her the crab that's my younger sister's favorite. So I send it. I order it from the website called Rakuten. I have still Japanese account, so I order it through the Rakuten, and Rakuten deliver the box of the craft to my younger sister's house in Japan. So I hope she enjoyed it with her husband. Yeah, but today we have another special thing. So it's a special observation, the spring equinox day service or Ohigan service. As it has begun to become a little bit warmer and the flower has started blooming, it has become more comfortable to enjoy outdoor activities, which makes me feel excited. It is a season when we can feel the beginning of the spring and nature begins to wake up. Ohigan means the other shore of enlightenment, or the Pure Land, which stands in opposition to this shore of the samsara, this life, this world. Standing on the other shore is Amida Buddha and our loved ones who came before us in a Pure Land, who are beckoning us in a world of samsara to cross over. For our tradition, the equinox represent the time when the nature and the universe in harmony, and because the length of day and night are slightly the same, and the weather is neither hot nor too hot nor too cold. So Buddhist tradition regarded this time of the year as the time of harmony and balance. So because it is the date of perfect balance, it's the perfect time, a perfect season for us to listen to the Dharma. So that's the idea of Ohigan. But most of the time our lives are not like Ohigan and are filled with hot days and cold days. We become excited about this thing and that thing, or we become disappointed about this or that thing. We laugh, we cry, we accuse, we cheer, we shout, we do the right thing, we do the wrong thing. Seeing what is currently happening in this world, we can hardly say that everybody in this world is living a peaceful and calm everyday life. We have been under the threat from the spread of COVID-19 and missed a safe place to get together with our important people. But thanks to the technology, we're able to see what is happening in this world instantly. But at the same time, the cruel news hurt our hearts so hard, even if we living in a different place in the world. So unless we live our lives as a human beings in this world, it is hard for each of us to find and keep the balance or keep our minds calm and still. In our founder Shinran Shonin's time, he was also in a difficult situation. He lived in a time of the Japanese history called Kamakura period, which is about over 800 to 1,000 years ago from now, and known as a being in an era of the turmoil. The Kamakura period continued about 140 years, but there were always wars, plagues, and famines everywhere, which put the people's lives in the danger. In such a difficult situation, Shinran Shonin had continued to show people what we should truly value in our lives through his many writings, called Kyoyo Shinsho, and Wasan or hymns through his late years. What he continued to tell people was always slowly, listen to Dharma, listen to Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion. Why did he always tell so? Maybe because Amida Buddha can cure the diseases such as COVID-19? No. Can Amida Buddha make people rich? No. Can Amida Buddha feed poor people? No. Amida doesn't do anything to make us rich substantially like that. But Amida Buddha makes us realize the true value of our lives. Then, what Shakyamuni Buddha tells us? His journey started from discarding everything, such as his position, house, wealth, and family. He left his huge castle and started seeking the way without having anything. Then he showed us the ultimate real realm in which anyone can realize a true joy in their lives, even in any difficult situation, and even they don't have anything. That is the Buddha's teaching. It is a true wisdom and compassion going beyond our humans' common sense and prejudice, which guide us to Ohigan and the Pure Land. That is a short path which anyone can achieve because Amida always gives us assurance to be born into Buddha of a limitless life in a Buddha's land where there are non-boundaries. We are assured to be free from any sufferings and boundaries which we have in our lives. My teacher, Fukuma Sensei, Reverend Fukuma, who is an experienced Buddhist minister in Japan, told me before when he gave us the Dharma talk at the temple in Kyoto. The most important thing is not to attach to this living life and to the fixed perspective in this world, but realizing that we are allowed to go beyond this limited life and can now live a limitless and eternal life. If we see the world with our small perspectives, it would make us think that there is nothing after our lives have ended. So what we think is that do whatever we do, anything, whatever we want to do, anything. Yeah, that's good, but is it everything for our lives? If so, we cannot find the true meaning of our lives. However, Buddha's teaching showed us our lives in a different and broader perspectives because we are sure to be born into infinite Buddha by Amida Buddha, which means we can understand the direction which our lives are going already being led toward Pure Land. So each of our steps are going toward Ohigan, or the Pure Land. I believe that our loved ones who came before us are guiding us to hear and follow this path through the services which with which we honor them. Shinan Shonin told us Amida Buddha enables us to meet one another together in the Buddha lands after this life has ended. We can meet one another as Buddhas, in the form of Buddha, just like the statue of Amida Buddha's appearance, not in the human forms like this, which we had when we lived in this world. And it is said that this is a true encounter with each other. In our current life, we are meeting and interacting with many people surrounding us, such as our families, friends, co-workers, and someone we don't know very well. We are meeting, but we can say that it is not the true and real meeting because we can't see truly one another as we are, because of our blind passions, our self-centeredness. We treat them well and care about each other if they are nice, important to us. But if not, we may not be able to do that. We compare ourselves with others and judge each other, saying, I'm superior to that person, or I'm inferior to that person. If we disagree, we might hurt and blame one another using our actions, our words influenced by our blind passions. it can happen to anybody if the situation becomes inconvenient. So we cannot 100% understand others, even if we are family and lifelong friends who think we know everything. That is a limitation of our meetings between us, who are the ones who have the blind passion in this world. But Shakyamuni Buddha tells us our encounter in the Pure Land is different, because everyone is Buddhas who have the great wisdom to see everything clearly as it is. They have the great compassion to understand one another without telling their feelings or situations. Buddha thoroughly knows and sees everything. On the other hand, we misunderstand, argue with others because we have our self-egos and desires. The Pure Land, it is a world where we can truly respect each other without any argument. So if you had someone who you can't get along with in this world, don't worry. You will be able to respect each other as a Buddha in the Pure Land, because it is a realm going beyond any hatred, awkwardness, which we living ones have in this world, and where any arguments and battles are all washed away. We are not eligible to go to the realm by ourselves. We are capable to do that, but Amida will take us there, the Pure Land, and we are actually on our way, thanks to the guidance of our loved ones who have already become a Buddha. I had a grandmother who was always nagging me. Our family lived together with her in our family temple in Shimane, Japan. She had taken care of me a lot since when I was a baby. She was still she was still there here. I spent a lot of time with her in her room. She always nagged me. For example, when I was dressed too lightly in the winter and watching a TV show, she said, "Hey, Etsuko, you should wear this or you will catch a cold." And I told her, I'm okay. Don't worry. But a few minutes later, she brought her sweater to me. On another day, when we were having a dinner together, and I was trying to have less rice because I was on a diet when I was a teenager, and she said, "Hey, Etsuko, don't reduce the rice. Eat more." Even if I didn't follow her advice, she was never tired of nagging me, saying, "Hey, Etsuko, don't do this. Wear this. Keep warm. Eat more." I thought she was noisy and nosy. I always said, "Hi, okay, I'll do it later." But actually, I always tried to dodge her scolding because I wanted to do what I wanted to do first, right? If I didn't follow her, she continued to tell me the same thing until I would do that. But now, after her passing, I have nobody to give me a scolding anymore. I feel free, but I realized how sad it is that nobody scolds me anymore, and how grateful I was that I had someone who nagged me and care about me. Bringing my memory back to when she was still here, I realized that she was nagged me because she was always worried about me, and she cared about me, my health, and not catching cold. I couldn't accept all her comments honestly, and try to turn my back away from her. But different from my grandmother, I always care about myself, like saying, me, me, me. But she always prioritized her self-centered granddaughter. Now I finally realized her kindness through her nagging comment which she gave me. I want to tell my grandma, I'm sorry, and say thank you to her. Maybe I should have told this when she was still here, but I couldn't because we both had the blind passions. We couldn't perfectly respect each other. Again, thanks to Buddha's guidance, we are fortunate that we are sure to meet each other as a Buddha in the Pure Land. Not in the human form like this, but in the Buddha form, which exceed our blind passions. They are leading us through from the world delusion to Ohigan, or the Pure Land, which is full of virtues of Amida, with Namo Amida Betsu, Namanda Betsu, Namanda Betsu. So, would you please join me in Kansho? Namanda Betsu, Namanda Betsu, Namanda Betsu, Namanda Betsu. Oh, this is actually the moment they're leading us. They are leading us through the resonance of Nembutsu, Namo Amida Betsu. Shinan Shonin told us about our true natures. It states, I find that all beings in an ocean of the multitudes have since the beginningless past down to this day, this very moment, have evil and defiled, deceitful to wander, deceitful, completely lacking the mind of purity. We might have had to continue to wander and get stuck in the turbulence of sufferings, just like the travelers wanders in the vast desert again alone. We might have wandered in the same loop again and again, over and over like this. Same loop since the beginningless past. But now, thanks to the guidance of Buddha, Namo Amida Betsu, we are fortunate that we'll be able to get out of the turbulence, get out of the turbulence of suffering, and we are living toward Ohigan, where we are enabled to have the true meeting with our loved ones as a Buddha, and truly respect each other. We are on its path. So until the time when I will be able to, will be born in the Pure Land, and see my grandma there, I would like to tell her that I lived to the fullest with the Buddha's guidance, even after her passing, and tell her thank you in the Pure Land. Shandao, who is considered as one of our seven masters in our tradition, and whom Shinan Shonin revered his contributions, wrote the hymn says, "Let us return. Do not abide in other lands. Following the Buddha's guidance, let us return to our original home." Shandao suggested to us that we should not get stuck on this land of endurance, and should be free from the place which is full of causes, conditions, which bind us to the sufferings. He suggested to us that we go to our original home, or the Pure Land, by following the Buddha's guidance. We are not originally from the Pure Land, but he means here that the Pure Land is the place where we are allowed to see our loved ones again. It could be a home for anybody, if somebody who have warm feeling of home is waiting for you. It is our goal in our lives, and a place where our lives are always accepted. Our life journey is like a bumpy road. It may be sometimes hard to get through, and we may get lost our way. But it is not a lonely way, because Amida Buddha and our loved ones are leading us to Ohigan through the resonance of Namo Amida Butsu. No matter what happens to our lives and whenever this life ends, we are embraced by the work from the warm feeling of home, Ohigan, the Pure Land, Amida Buddha, and our loved ones. Having such a great home in our lives lead us to see the life with its limitless and broader views, enables us to see the world in its true value, which doesn't get swayed by our prejudice or one-sided views in our world. It always leads us to enjoy, lead us to find the true joy in our lives, and also guide us to enjoy continuing our life's journey at our own pace. Setting Pure Land as our true home for our lives, hearts and minds, let us keep on our journey, life's journey, to the Pure Land with Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you for listening. So I'd like to conclude my talk with Namo Amida Butsu. So please join me in Kansho. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sensei. It's always, I always enjoy your stories of your grandma. Yeah, we all have someone, and hopefully we all do have someone in our lives that has been such a strong influence. And often though those people are maybe not as fully appreciated while they are there at that time, but we remember with our hearts and minds how important their lives continue to be in our lives. And I really appreciate those stories about your matcha. But thank you very much, Mikame Sensei, for this morning's Dharma talk. A couple of announcements. Oh, I forgot that. Just a moment. We were supposed to show a recording of the presentation of the Minister Assistant's certification to Dennis Akizuki and Michael Jones that took place this past Tuesday. It was a wonderful service, a very I want to say meaningful, but recognizing that it is a very important time for us here at the Betsuin with Dennis and Michael both being certified as minister assistants here at the Betsuin, and we are truly grateful that they did the work and continue to help us here, along with Sumi Tanabe, continue to provide us with the kind of support and direction and opportunities that make the Betsuin a wonderful place for people to gather, people to learn, and to share the Dharma. Unfortunately, I was going to record it on Zoom. All that happened was a recording of Harada Sensei, and there was no recording of Dennis and Michael in the Zoom recording. I have no idea what happened. Not even their voice was audible in this recording. It's a wonderful image of Harada Sensei and his voice, but nothing else. So although the intentions were good, unable to present that today. hopefully we'll be able to, maybe at Hanamatsuri, be able to have Dennis and Michael give a brief kind of, well, introduce them as minister, formal minister assistants. The other thing I wanted to remind everyone of is the trip that the 850th celebration in Japan in 2023, and the BWA, World Federation BWA conference that will take place at the same time in Kyoto, Japan. This will be in May of 2023. The BWA has been working for their members to attend the conference, but because it's a joint celebration of the 800 and 850 celebration, we also are inviting, the temple is inviting members to attend this joint celebration in Kyoto in May of 2023. There will be a Zoom planning meeting on next Sunday, the 27th at 11:30. And if you would like to, if you are considering participating in this tour, the current cost is estimated to be about $5,000 per person. This includes all transportation and lodging, as well as I think the cost of the conference itself is separate, but lodging and transportation are included in this $5,000. So if you would like to consider joining this tour, if you would please email, and this is an email that is easy to remember, and hopefully you'll be able to send your email to us expressing your interest. The email is 2023 Japan trip. So 2023 Japan trip at sjbetsuin.org. So the sjbetsuin.org is our normal kind of email. So even if you make a mistake in the first half of this, the 2023 Japan trip, it'll still kind of end up here somewhere. But if you are interested, please email us at this 2023 Japan trip at sjbetsuin.org. And we'll get in contact with you. There is some limitations to the number of people that are able to participate. And so it's kind of a first come, first serve, and we'll see what kinds of accommodations we'll be able to make. But again, if you would email if you are interested. Again, thank you very much, everyone, for participating in this morning's Ohigan service. I really appreciate your continued support. Every once in a while, I'll run into somebody and they say, "Oh, I haven't seen them for 2 years." And I said, "Well, nice to see you." And they say, "Well, we watch you all the time. You're here every Sunday." So it's nice that although Mikame Sensei and I are unable to see you in person, when we do run into you under other circumstances, that we're able to learn that there are people actually out there participating in this service. Well, thank you very much. I think, are we going to go out in Lumbini's garden? Okay. So thank you very much. Please join us next week. We'll see you again then.